And we're live. What about?
Welcome to the Labor's Lost Version.
Hello. Apologies for some technical difficulties at the start of that. We were just getting our stream set up. Anyway, good evening. Thank you for tuning in to view our final tonight. The play you will hear tonight was written by the members of University of Minnesota Duluth Theater Department's Spring 2020 Creative Collaboration class. Those people are Della, Emily Crawford, Micah Eigenfeld, Antony Ferguson, Mia Martinez, Emily Mattingley, Sain, and Michelle Vang. We'd also like to thank our professor, Dr. Jenna Saleo-Shanks. Stay tuned after the reading tonight to see some of the design work we did for what was supposed to be a more fully realized production, as well as hear some about our writing and devising process together. And so, without further ado, we present under a working title, The Legend of the Red City. The cast of characters for tonight. Orman, 21, the hero, son of Agia, adopted brother of Cassandra. Cassandra, 24, adopted sister of Orman, smart, usually right, never listened to. Agia, the god of home and creation, Orman's parent. Opapone, the god of tricksters and travelers. Wakesa, the god of nature and the harvest. Gra, the god of love and beauty. Matan, the god of war and bravery. Omo, the god of life and death, the cycle. Wakaro, the god of knowledge and civilization. Bodin, a traveling merchant, friend to all in the village. A captain in Gra Plela's military. Healer, a nice healer in Gra Plela's military. And the crown prince of Canis, a total jerk and full of daddy's money. Time, a time. Place, the countries of Graplela, Canis, and Mitra. Prologue. Lights up on a busy village square. Cassandra is on stage, surrounded by passerby going about their business.
It's one you've heard before, the story of the hero who slew the beast of darkness, the hero who led 1,000 armies to 1,000 victories, the hero of the Red City. You know the hero who played the game of the gods, the mighty champion that rose up from nothing. To be truthful, it wasn't nothing. Our parents raised us in a small village in the valley of the Bolster Peaks. It was a time when war was looming, and while the grown-ups would spend hours hushedly discussing, worrying, and eventually preparing, my brother and I would sneak out to the stream that ran along the back of our farm. Swimming, skipping rocks, fishing. Sometimes we would just lay on the banks, listening to the water run and letting the sun soak into our skin. We never imagined what he would become.
Whoa now, honey, don't spoil it for him. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the story of truly the most amazing hero of our age. He's a cut above the rest, he does his demi-godly best, and nobody could take him down. He was a slayer of beasts, men, and of course, the ladies, son of a god. And of course, as all the best heroes do, he started out as a loser, an average guy in a small village.
The scene fades to the past, into a conference with the gods, and Opapone is giving a presentation, perhaps with a PowerPoint or easel charts.
So right now he's a loser, an average guy in a small village, but the timing is just right. Both of his adopted parents have kicked the bucket, mortals, am I right? And the humans are on the verge of one of the biggest wars in a long time, right, Matan? Well, actually, it'll be pretty one-sided, unless, of course, this guy joins in the fighting. And you all know it has been a while since we had a legit hero make an entrance, so everything seems perfect right now. All we need to get this going is a little tap from you, Ajia. Just, a little parental advice. A godly visit to get that divinity shooting through his blood. So, what do you say? As my presentation so wonderfully explains, it's all lined up.
Lucaro. Unusually for Opapone, the facts are all correct. The human nation of Canis is indeed planning on a land-grabbing offensive, going straight through this human's homeland. Quite a prerogative to fight.
Yes, bloody slaughter awaits, peace washed away by war, and you know I always want a little more blood in my bath.
What? Oh, I'm sure he's lovely.
Why does it always have to be a human hero? They ruin everything they touch. What about the children of nature? Whatever, I don't care.
Well, it's settled. Let's have some fun.
And thus, the cycle begins anew.
Scene 1. Cassandra is sitting by the river. Orman enters.
By the river, just where I thought you'd be. I remember the fun we had here.
I seem to remember it more often than you. You never come down here anymore, except to get water for the goats.
Hey, I love this river too. I'm just so busy with the farm these days.
You're just so busy not being as fun as you used to be, little brother.
Come on, Cass. You're the older one.
What? I'm not too grown up to have fun anymore.
Hey, Cass, I need to tell you something.
What?
I'm afraid of the war. We hear rumors every day, and it seems like it's coming closer and closer.
Closer? We're miles away from any conflict. Why would anyone want to come here to our small village?
I don't know, but I'm still worried. It's a war. If someone came here, I would fight. But if they got this far, it wouldn't matter. And as you said, we're just a small village. Would anyone care enough to protect us? The only way to protect our home is to stop them before they get here.
The mountains protect us. And there's nothing to be gained by attacking here anyway. I doubt they even know this place exists. And I have faith in the gods.
What about the other small villages. They have no mountains, and we all trade if something happens to one of us.
It affects all of us. I know you're scared, but we can't let our thoughts run wild, even in times like these. What do you think we could do to save them? We don't have any armies.
I want to enlist.
Orman, brother, you'd be hundreds of miles away, protecting powerful people that don't care about villages like ours. They don't care enough to attack them, and they don't care enough to protect them. We will be safe here. Even without as much trade, we will still have clean water, and if Wakesa wills it, food enough to survive. We will endure, and the war will pass us by. Once the victors take over, we can trade with their villages, and life will go on.
Bowden came back from Marished today. He told us about men there. Canis's men. They haven't hurt anyone yet, but they're oppressive, taking things, scaring the people.
I didn't know.
He said they were just scouts, and that more are coming. This is closer than anything before.
They're just passing through.
You don't know that.
You can't fix it.
I want to try.
I know, but you'll help more here. People here depend on you. I depend on you. How can I run the farm alone? I do my best, but I can't be in two places at once. Who will bring our goods into town while I fix the plow? How will we maintain the fences for the goats while making sure none escape? I may be capable, but not enough to do the jobs of two people at once.
But you're right. I just wish there was something I could do. But I trust you. I suppose this is where I'm meant to be.
Good. Now I need you to go catch Stu. He jumped out of the pen again.
The worst goat in this whole mountain range.
Scene 2. Orman is sleeping in his bedroom. Lights slowly rise, and we see Ajia is also in the room, dressed in the guise of a hermit.
Good morning, sleepyhead.
Cat? What's happened? If that goat got out again, I swear to Omo.
Not quite.
I will send it to him.
Orman finally lifts his head.
What? Who are you? How did you get in here?
I have come to send you to your destiny.
What?
You will be a mighty champion.
Who?
You!
How did you get in here? Beggar? Go to the temple. They have food for you there.
I am no beggar, child.
Huh?
You have to fight.
Orman picks up some kind of home defense weapon.
You want to fight me?
It is your destiny.
What?
Ajia casts off their beggar's cloak and is illuminated with almost blinding light.
Aren't you excited? Ugh, appearing to mortals always goes sideways.
I've never had a dream like this before.
Not a dream, really, here. Up you get, son. Time to go fight a war.
You're
Finally, some recognition around here. Yes, I am Ajia.
the god of...
Yes, the god of home and all of that. Yes, I'm really here. Yes, you're really my son. Now listen to me.
Son? Why?
Interrupting a god has consequences. Don't fall victim to them.
Sorry.
Now then, where was I? I said, where was I?
Sorry. You said I was your son? And I need to go fight.
Right. You mortals apologize too much. As I was saying before you interrupted, you must go and lend yourself to the fighting. Your home is in danger. You alone have the power to save it, all that. You look like you have a question. What is it?
What about my parents?
Well, obviously you're adopted. I entrusted a pair of mortals with raising you, and they did a well enough job. But yes, you are my son, and your home is in danger.
How do I save it?
Go to Kalora, the village at the opening of the mountain pass. There you will find a captain in Graplela's military. Enlist in their army, make me proud, and remember, I'm always watching.
Agia goes to leave.
What about Cassandra?
What about who?
Cassandra told me that I don't need to go.
You are the son of a god.
My place is here with Cassandra. I thought this is where I was meant to be.
Does she know better than a god? I know where you are meant to be. You are my son, and you are meant to be a goat herder? That isn't so. You are meant for so much more. Here's your chance. You just need to take it. Go now. Your destiny awaits.
Agia leaves. Scene 3. Cassandra is sitting at the kitchen table eating her breakfast. She's made some for Orman as well. He has a bag over his shoulder and is clearly leaving.
Morning. You going into town?
Cass, I need to go.
Where? Oh, not this again. You know you're better off here.
I know where I'm meant to be now.
What do you mean?
I was visited last night by Agia.
Agia, the god of creation. Really?
Yes,
Visited you, the worst goat herder in this village.
I'm not joking. They were here in this house. They revealed themselves to me and told me something.
Okay, assuming this wasn't a dream or a hallucination.
Sandra, I am their son.
Not every adopted boy is the son of a god.
You knew? Since when?
Ever since I was 4 years old and you showed up on our doorstep. Orman, we all loved you from the first moment. You were always my brother.
But no one told me.
I'm sure they would have told you when you were older.
They died when I was 17 years old. If they hadn't told me by then, they never would have. Would you have ever told me?
Maybe we were just scared something like this would happen.
Not every adopted boy is the son of a god. If you believed that, you should have told me. You didn't think this would happen. You were just selfish. I'm done being selfish. Agia was in my room last night, and their godly power was shown to me. I am the son of Agia, and I was meant for more.
More what? More getting yourself killed in a war you have no business being a part of? You aren't making sense.
I have to protect us. And I thought this was how, but now I know that this is how.
I thought you trusted me, what I had to say.
You were the person I trusted the most, but you lied to me. And that God knows better anyway.
Knows better.
I'm going.
Then go. Go off and have your grand adventure. See how it ends.
This is what I'm meant to do.
We're all meant to die, but most of us just aren't in such a hurry.
Scene 4.
And thus our brave hero is off. He journeys through the mountains, away from his home, away from his family, away from all that is safe and good and familiar, and into his destiny, into danger and war and...
Yeah, that's right. War, baby.
On with the shoulder check.
There had been so much boring peace on this continent, so I projected my rage into the fighting people of this land.
Yeah, you did.
And they responded in kind. A petty squabble became something worthy of battle, death, and glory. The nation of Canis had grown fat and weak from years of decadence, and so they decided to strengthen themselves through a mighty conquest, one that involved seizing the land of the nation of Grapplella. At first, the aggressors earned my favor, but then, as always happens when mortals heed my urges, a champion of Grapplella rose to face the challenge. What was this one's name again? You know, Agia's boy?
Ormondo or something.
Right, Ormondo. Those who set out to protect their home often do whatever it takes. It's exhilarating to watch, but even those destined for greatness have to work for it. Let's see how Ormondo went about his rise to fame.
Scene 5. At a military camp, Orman is wearing a soldier's uniform. He has clearly been there for some time.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes?
Why have we guarded this road for 3 weeks?
Our orders were to guard this road and muster recruits.
We haven't had any recruits for 2 weeks. Isn't there a war we should be fighting in?
The war will be fought when we receive orders to fight it.
When did we last receive orders?
3 weeks ago, when we were ordered to muster recruits and guard the road.
But I've seen the messengers leaving. Surely they receive new orders, unless... Is there something you're keeping from us, Captain? What did the messengers say, Captain?
They haven't come back yet.
Captain.
Enough of this. Go tell Tamea it's her turn on watch. You're done for the night.
No rest for you yet, mortal.
What are you?
The messengers are dead.
How?
Mortal arrogance, as usual, a being of Vacasa's wrath. In the caves, in the so-called blasted pass you carved through their mountains. You must kill it.
What does Wakasa care about this war?
It's not about the war. It's about the mountains. Those peaks were tall and that valley was bountiful, but it was destroyed to build a road. Breaking the favored toys of the gods incurs their anger.
How do I find it? How do I kill it?
Go to the pass. Enter the first cave you see. Follow the bones. The rest is up to you.
How will I know it's the monster and not some animal?
You'll know it deep within your soul. Leave in the morning. I will come to you once it's done.
Agia exits in some supernatural way. Ormond crosses the stage back to the captain.
Sir, I request permission to go on today's scouting mission.
You know what this means, boy? None of them have come back.
Yes.
So be it then. Extra rations if you find out what happened to the others, and make it back alive.
Ormond and the captain exit. The gods talk as the scene changes. There's a thing that happens when the mortals ignite my fury, and it is hard to piss me off.
No, it's not.
When the mortals so foolishly wander into my wrath by destroying my creations, there are consequences. Other creations raised and animated by my own hand. The shadows of the men that raise my land and scar my mountains. As monstrous and evil as the humans that say, blow through a pass in the mountain range they call the bolsters, that I call untouchable. Darling creations that enact my wrath on all the humans who think they can defy a god. My anger works like all my creations. I do not smite, I do not demolish, I create. In this case, I tapped into what humans fear most. I made life from pure darkness. Scene 6. Ormond enters a cave. The lights dim. We hear a quiet scraping as a large pair of glowing eyes appear behind him. A huge fight ensues. The lights flash and we see Ormond move around the cave, but never the monster, only its eyes in the darkness. Finally, a loud screech. Ormond has won. Scene 7. Ormond exits the cave holding a black cape and a glowing eye. He collapses on the ground, exhausted, relieved, and a little traumatized.
Good job, son.
Thanks for your help in there.
You clearly didn't need it.
I got lucky. I couldn't see a damn thing.
Well, now you have that neat eye. I reckon that's gonna help some. You really aren't as happy as I thought you would be.
I almost died in there, and I don't see how my village is any safer. Maybe I should have just stayed home.
Ah, but you don't know what the monster could have done. Perhaps it would have slithered out of its cave to bother more people. Eat your whole army, maybe. Perhaps it could have gone deeper into the cave, making a tunnel that connected to your village. But because of your heroic actions, these things will not come to pass.
Was that monster even killing people in the first place? Or did I just kill an innocent creature?
Well, that bone has a boot on it. Regardless, I'm Proud of you, son. Now that the pass is clear, you can receive your orders and save your village from this war.
I can. I will.
That's the spirit. Now take your spoils back so they can promote you. Now, why don't you bring that
They gesture to the boot.
back to your captain?
Ormond sits up and grabs it.
Thanks.
He exits.
You're welcome, my boy. Congratulations. Keep making me proud out there.
Scene 8. The marketplace of the village. It should be the same core layout as the prologue, but different details.
Bowden!
Sandra, it's been too long.
Bowden, do you have any news about the war? Or Ormond?
Of course I do. Don't be too worried. If what I've heard is true, your brother is doing very well.
What do you mean?
Well, the last battle I heard of had him not only living through it without a scratch, but also making quite the name for himself.
When did you hear about this battle?
A week ago in Marishet, it was the talk of the town. Bolster Boy, that's what they're calling him. You see, no one's heard of this tiny place. Anyways, Bolster Boy used the magic eye of a monster he slew to bring a company of men through a cave system into the rear of the Canis army. Then he is said to have slain their general in single combat, using a rock to bash his skull in once the spear he was carrying broke against the general's breastplate.
And you're sure that Bolster Boy is Ormond?
It's but a rumor. You can't be sure of anything, but I did show Ormond the way to the camp, and he's the only one from around here to go off to war, and if these stories are true, the only one brave enough.
He slew a monster, you say?
Oh yes, there was an evil lurking in the new pass, eating any man that tried to get from Tamorin to Acasa's gift. For weeks, scouts and messengers disappeared until this hero came with his spear of light and fought the beast for 10 days straight, finally skewering its eye on his spear tip and wrenching it from its foul socket. And this entire battle was fought in complete darkness. The beast's red eye is the only light visible. Agia's favor is with him and he's on our side. We will surely win this war.
And he's still alive?
Everything I've heard says he is.
Thank you, Bowden.
Anytime. Cassandra, say, you ready to sell that goat for meat yet?
Just about, Bowden, just about. Thank you for the news. If you hear any more about him, please let me know.
Cassandra walks away from his stall, looking up to the sky.
Omo, if you're listening, please don't take that idiot brother of mine. His cycle can't be complete, not yet. But if even half of what Bowden has told me is true, and it must be true, right? Otherwise he would be dead by now. What do I care if he's some great hero or some valiant soldier who slays monsters left and right? Still, he shouldn't even be there. He's still the same Ormond, reckless and aimless, always needing someone to show him where to go. Right? Maybe, though, maybe he will live through this war and come back safely. Maybe he's found what he's meant to do. I don't know. Ugh, curse him! I've never been this uncertain about anything. It's so much easier to worry about you when you're here, Ormond. Please come home.
Scene 9.
Curse him. How touching. Although, if anyone is going to be cursed, Ormond the hero won't be. Frankly, no god is going to want to curse this hero. He's just so giving. Why, just the other day, he freed a few of my followers. Why they were jailed, we don't need to get into, but this hero's path of destruction leaves a lot of opportunity for the traveler in his wake.
Well, my boy, what can I say, huh? I knew it from the moment he thought I was a home invader. After the monster, I took a back seat in guiding him as he practically did it all himself. Every being he slays or battle he wins makes him more and more exalted, more and more sought after by my fellow deities for their various tasks. And all the while, he is protecting the most important thing a child has, his parents' reputation.
Many things I have touched have been destroyed by this war. Statues, valued art, and even my beautiful temples have been reduced to cinders by the actions of these nations. But I just don't understand why the nation is so enamored with this mortal. I'd say he's about a 7.
A master thief from ages past managed to escape my realm in death, stealing the very life from the living in order to evade my grasp. I tasked Ormond with capturing the spirit inside an obsidian jar. After 20 days of hunting, Ormond found the thief and, using his own soul as bait, captured him in the jar, sealing it with a frozen mercury.
This mortal isn't very intelligent. During a raid, he burnt one of my libraries to a crisp. As punishment, I made him rewrite, by hand, each and every book he burned. Perhaps he'll be more careful playing with fire next time.
I was, of course, angry about him ending my vengeance, but instead of having another child of mine hunt him down, I called on Ormond to set the scale right. Some foolish humans had decided to hold noble beasts in tiny pens for fun. So I had Ormond use the beast's coat he so rudely took to sneak into this circus and open each cage. When the kidnappers in charge came to feed the beasts, well, you can put together the rest.
Ormond has ended many cycles before their time.
You make it sound so boring. The man kills. First, he pushes Keena's armies back across the border, earned himself the title of hero. Then, thanks to my direction, he retook the sabled woodlands to ambush them, all the while destroying companies with his pinky finger. Oh, he dominated the battles of Bria, Tillint, Butudil, and hundreds more.
17.
Shut up. One time he came across the city in the way of Grauplalla's entire host, and do you know what this kid did? He ground it to dust. And now, if all goes according to plan, he'll have Grauplalla's army in Canis' capital by the end of the week. I sure hope it doesn't end too quickly, though. I love watching Ormond cut down scores of puny mortal soldiers. The man makes dismemberment look like the art form it truly is. It makes me feel alive. I know Ormond feels it too. His enemy sees a warrior who has fallen too far to pull himself up. But they are wrong. We who flourish in the bloodletting, we who marvel at destruction, we who conquer the conquerors, we are not fallen, we are ascended.
End of Act 1. A reminder to stay tuned after we're done here to listen to our talk back and see some design materials. All right, and now on to Act 2. Scene 10. Darkness. The sounds of a massacre are heard. Screams, things breaking, soldiers yelling, "Where is he?" and "Face me, Ormond," are heard during the scuffle. Lights up on Cassandra, alone in the destroyed village marketplace set. She is bleeding from the temple. She contemplates her surroundings, taking time to grieve, etc. She finds a torn piece of clothing, a piece of Bowden's costume, on the ground and makes a makeshift bandage out of it. It's clear she was left for dead. She makes the decision to go find Ormond because this is all his fault, kind of. Scene 11. Lights up on Ormond's tent, maybe the outside, maybe the inside, a military camp kind of deal. He is obviously very important. It's lavish. He sits on a cushion studying a map and sharpening his sword, with a pot of wine and a goblet on the table when Cassandra enters. She still wears the bloody bandage.
Cass, what are you doing here? What happened to your head? Who's watching the farm?
Where were you?
I've been here winning the war.
Protecting us.
Doing my best, yes?
Protecting our home.
What happened?
You failed.
What happened?
You were here killing men from villages just like ours, making a name for yourself, winning the war, protecting people who didn't care about us.
What happened, Cass?
Our village was attacked.
What? When?
In the night. First, I heard the screaming. I looked out the window and saw the market square burning. I ran to the stream with a bucket to get water, and a small shape floated down to where I was. I looked closer and could see it was a child. A little orphan girl from the temple. I pulled her out of the river and took her inside. She was dead. Then outside, I heard shouting, screams, the clatter of a sword knocking aside a pitchfork. I heard footsteps run to our home and the door was kicked open. A man, a soldier, a mace in one hand. He trapped me in the kitchen and he said he'd let me live if I told him where you were. I said I didn't know, but that he best be careful because you'd be coming soon to save the village. I don't know, that must have made him angry. He hit me on the head and I woke up hours later. It was morning, and when I went to the square,
Algia's grace.
there was no grace there, and the only god was Matan.
Did anyone else survive?
I didn't find anyone else. I'm sure there were others, but I left. I had to find you, our hero.
The soldier that attacked you. Whose colors was he wearing?
Why does that matter?
I will find him and kill him. I swear to all the gods that I will kill everyone involved in the raid.
Sure, more killing will protect us. I told you not to go. I said they wouldn't come, but you left, and when they came for you. They left the gold. They took no slaves. All they wanted was you. You and your killing did this. Your protection did this.
Canis should have been pushed out of the mountains. It must have been a small band to slip past our lines.
Stop talking like this is just another military campaign. Our home is ash. It was our people this time, Orman, and it was your fault. You never should have left. What good is being a hero if you can't even protect the things you care about? Or do you care anymore? I'm not the selfish one this time.
I care. No matter what you may think of me, I don't enjoy killing. I don't enjoy this, but I can't let them get away with it. Don't you want some kind of retribution? Vengeance?
It won't rebuild our farm.
Yes.
It won't make any of them live again.
Our people deserve justice.
It won't fix anything. It's just more death. Why can't you see that?
I see what's important.
Are you so far gone?
What else am I supposed to do? I found my destiny and I can never ignore it again. I am the son of...
Son of Asia, with a destiny. Far more important than anything else in his life. If this is what you think your destiny should be, if you continue down this path, then I don't know if there's a place for you in our village. Or in my life.
There never was a place for me. This is my place, and I promise you, sister, I will make them pay.
If you won't listen to reason, then I'm going home to try and rebuild our village.
She tries to exit, but sways and falls over. Her head clearly hasn't healed yet.
Cass.
He goes to try and catch her.
Cass, you're injured.
Orman, let me go.
You can leave tomorrow. I'll make sure you have food, a horse. I don't care if you hate me. Just stay the night and rest your head, please.
Fine. Just make sure I'm not anywhere near you.
Just let me take you to the healer. You need help.
He leads her out of the tent. After a few moments, a soldier slips inside. After looking around, the soldier walks to the wine, takes a vial from his pocket, pours a few drops of it into the goblet, ponders, and then also pours the rest of it into the pot. He exits. A few moments later, Orman re-enters the tent, sad. He puts his sword and sharpening stuff away and rolls up the map, looking at the wine, and then finishes the goblet in a big drink. He starts to go to bed and suddenly feels exhausted. He barely makes it to the bed before collapsing on it. He snores audibly. After a moment, 3 people in soldiers' uniforms enter. Scene 12. Orman wakes up in shackles in a cage. He is in the creaking belly of a ship. It's dark, and no one seems to be around. The Prince of Canis enters.
You're a hard man to find.
Where am I?
On my ship, headed for Canis.
Why? Who are you?
I am the Crown Prince of Canis. I've captured you, and as punishment for your crimes against my country, you will be paraded through the streets of the capital before your public execution. I've been looking forward to this moment for a long time. My spies were accurate, my planning was precise, and everything has gone just as it should.
Ken,
Believe me, it wasn't quite as easy as I may have made it seem. You are a very difficult man to find, but it was worth the effort.
Ormond struggles against his bonds.
I swear when I get out of these,
You may be strong, but no man can break iron chains.
release me now and I might spare you.
Like you almost spared my cousin at the Battle of the Bright Caves? Answer me one question. Why did you, a goat herd from a remote village, decide you needed to kill my people?
My home was in danger. The war.
No, it wasn't. At least not from Canis. We had to do months of reconnaissance to even find it, and then getting there took another month.
Why did you need to go there?
You somehow managed to appear at every battle, inspiring confidence and bringing victory, and then you disappear, irritatingly beyond our reach. We had hoped someone in your village would know something about your war efforts.
You raised my village?
If you mean burnt 4 buildings and killed some peasants, then yes, I suppose I did. You could have been at least courteous enough to be there, but it wasn't a complete waste. Shaking the nest makes the bird fly to safety.
Ormond struggles harder against his chains.
I will kill you.
So much killing. You know, if it wasn't for your help, this could have been a very peaceful war. We never intended to shed so much blood. You've just made all of our battles so hard, costing us men and resources like no other man could. But then again, you're not like any other man, are you? Son of Agia. Psh, gods, demigods, simple propaganda. You are a talented man, but nonetheless a man. There is no divine power that is going to save you.
You will suffer Agia's wrath.
Sure. But first, you have to suffer mine. Fair is fair, after all. We should be arriving in a few days. Make sure you get enough rest for your public appearance.
The crown prince exits. Lights indicate night. Ormond is miserable, defeated, and tired. Suddenly, a bright light begins to fade in as Agia enters.
I do hate atheists. Believing nothing never really made any sense to me. I mean, I'm right here, aren't I?
Agia?
I'm right here, Ormond. And your quest is not over. You may be down, but you're not out.
They touch Ormond's bindings, which suddenly fall to the ground.
You are my son. Use your strength. Continue your quest. Avenge your home.
Agia exits. Ormond is left alone, wondering what to do. In a moment of confidence, he grabs 2 bars of the cage and pulls them apart. It takes some time, it's a struggle, but he can do it. A big moment of triumph. Dramatic. The lights fade, and now the only light comes from torches. It's very dark from here on out. The scene is a fight scene parallel to the one earlier, where Ormond killed the monster of darkness. He wears the eye of the beast on his cloak. This time, Ormond is the monster. His darkness grows as enemy soldiers and crew are being slain out from the darkness. The soldiers hold torches, which go out after Ormond kills them. The last enemy left is the crown prince, and Ormond steps out of the darkness to confront him at sword point.
Oh, gods, please don't kill me. I'll do anything, money, power, just please.
Your ship. I'm taking it, and you.
The crown prince bolts off stage, and we hear a sploosh. He's jumped overboard. Ormond tries to grab him, but misses. Ormond sighs, then looks off in the distance, presumably towards Canis. Scene 13. Return to the military camp, but now in the infirmary.
Ah, you're finally awake.
Where am I?
This is the healer's camp.
Where's Ormond?
Why don't you lay your head back down there, child? Take it easy.
Where is he?
If you lie down and don't rip your stitches, I will tell you where he is.
Okay.
Don't be too worried, but the hero has been captured.
What's going to happen to him? Where are they taking him?
The same place Canis takes anyone. Canis,
Canis the city or somewhere in its territory?
the capital.
I have to save him. He's alone.
Sit down, you're in no shape to be saving anyone.
I don't care. I have to go.
Cassandra struggles to her feet.
The road is dangerous, and General Estrella has written him off as either dead or worse. I know this is hard for you.
Let me speak to this general and remind them why they're winning this war. It's because of Ormond. They wouldn't have stood a chance without him.
That may be true, but you wouldn't be able to speak to them. The army is already moved. All that's left here are the healers and the wounded.
Well, where are they going?
To end this war.
To Canis? If they attack while Ormond is held captive, they'll execute him for sure.
You'll die if you go.
And I could never live with myself if I don't at least try.
She stumbles from the tent. She straightens up.
And so Cassandra follows in her brother's footsteps, tempting the gods and...
That's more than enough from you. I took the trail through the mountains, climbing the rocks like Ormond and I used to when we were kids. I slipped and fell more than once, but I never, ever considered turning back. I hid from scouts. I ate whatever I could find. For 5 days and nights, I traveled, sleeping only when I had to. I traveled around a large lake.
The scene changes to the next scene.
And found myself back in my village. Smoldering buildings and death. Except this wasn't my village. It was Canis, the largest city in the world.
Scene 14. Desolation, very similar to the previous scene in Cassandra's village. She finds something like a child's doll, perhaps with blood on it, just like when she found a piece of Bowden's clothing. Silence for some time as Cassandra takes the destruction in.
I walked around the city of ash and blood for too long. There were thousands of people who lived here, and I did not see a single one. Not living, anyway. I wondered, how could any human do this? Not the fighting or the burning of buildings, but the sheer contempt for life. Soldiers' bodies were not the only ones sprawled in the streets. Blood ran into every gutter. The walls of the buildings were either charred and blackened or stained with crimson. This was not an honorable battle. It was a massacre. And everywhere I looked, there was no sign of Ormond, no sign of any life. Silence permeated this corner of the world. So I did what anyone would do in that gruesome scene. I went home. As I got farther away from the city, signs of life began to reappear. First, some unburned grass, then trees, birds, then larger animals, and eventually survivors. People who managed to escape Canis before it became the Red City. They told me more about the battle than I wanted to know. They told me of the man who led the attack. A demigod. A man with 20 times the strength of a normal man, who charged the city gates, glowing with a divine light that blinded the archers who tried to make their mark. When he reached the gates, one blow shattered them. And when he charged in, an army charged behind him, and they became a monster who slayed soldiers by the dozen and continued to kill men, women, and children. A monster came to Canis and left it drenched in scarlet. I continued on, and as I grew closer to my home, I worried that I would only find ruins. But remarkably, in my absence, other survivors had returned and started to rebuild our lovely village. Even some refugees from the Red City came along to live there in its safe obscurity. Unfortunately, something else returned to the village.
Scene 15. Opens on Cassandra's village at evening time. It is partially rebuilt. A few villagers, a few military personnel, including the captain and Ormond, celebrate the victories of the war. It's a party. People are laughing and recounting war stories.
When we stormed the palace guard put up the most resistance by far. We couldn't get to the king. But then our hero Ormond came from the city, burst through the wall of shields, and fought straight to the center of the palace and slayed the king of Canis. 1-on-1, there was no escape.
No escape for anyone. Ormond didn't let even a single servant leave that palace, even the cowards who ran. They really tried to run too, but Ormond was like a lion in a hen house.
Peter enters, but no one notices.
Ormond.
Cassandra, where were you?
He runs to her, ready to embrace her, but she recoils in disgust. Maybe pushes him back.
What happened to you?
What happened to me? Where were you?
What happened to my brother?
Cassandra, I won the war. We won.
We?
Yes, we won. Canis is no more. They can't hurt anyone now. And soon they will never be able to hurt anyone again.
What do you mean by soon?
Their crown prince escaped to Hurain, and soon me and my men will go hunt him down, and Canis will never rise again, never threaten us again.
Like they threatened us so much before? I told you.
You were wrong. They attacked us. They destroyed our village.
Because of you! They were looking for you. They only asked about you because you killed their soldiers, because you left and got involved in things you had no reason to be. The lives you took brought them here. How can you not understand that none of this would have happened if you would have just listened to me?
They would have come sooner or later. Canis wasn't about peace, and Omo doesn't take lives before their time.
Don't hide behind gods again. You made a choice, and that choice turned you into a monster.
Monster? Is that what you think I am? A monster saved you, and will again.
Nobody needed to be saved. You caused the danger.
For those who would do us harm. And I will raise cities to the ground before anyone can think about threatening us again.
You're talking about Hurain, aren't you?
Listen, I don't need to destroy another city. I just need to kill that bastard. But I will take down anything that stands in my way to get my revenge.
You are going to raise Hurain.
They granted him protection.
He can't matter this much. He's beaten. He can't hurt anyone as a guest in some city leagues away.
I need to kill him. That ends it.
It ended when you destroyed a nation and killed a king. Why does his son matter so much?
The prince is the one who ordered the attack on our village. He's the worst of them. We will never be safe while he lives.
I guess that makes you two the same. An eye for an eye, a murderer from a murderer. I never would have guessed my brother would do this. But I guess you never were my brother. Just some orphan that mom and dad were foolish enough to care for.
Ormond roars and hits her. Cassandra falls to the ground, possibly with a bloody nose.
I did this for you.
We should have drowned you in the stream and saved 1,000,000 lives.
Ormond looks around. Everybody is still watching. The gods have slowly been entering and are watching too, unseen by everyone besides Ormond and Cassandra. Ormond.
I wanted to protect my sister. I still do. But now I see she's an ungrateful mortal, just like the rest of them. You're right. You're not my sister. I am more than you could ever be. The gods are in my blood and at my side. I'm going to kill him because I swore that I would. I'm going to kill anyone who protects him, and you telling me that I can't doesn't matter, because you don't matter. Captain, we march now.
He exits.
Men, collect your gear. You heard him.
They exit. Cassandra is still on the ground, and the villagers that are left awkwardly exit.
Well, that's it then. Can't believe that just happened. Matan, I owe you one incitement of war. I was sure he'd stay with Sis. Who'd have thought?
I told you so. He didn't say it, but he made an oath to the prince, and a true warrior doesn't break an oath like that. He can never resist a call to battle.
I thought I told you to stop betting on heroes. I know it turned out all right this time, but it's very sad when I watch a child of mine get swallowed by a shark and then see you tossing a coin to a caro.
I always win my bets.
He shouldn't have been netting dolphins if he didn't want me to shark him. Gra looks off stage towards Ormond.
That was an emotional fight. I'm going to go and comfort him.
They exit, following Ormond. All the gods follow except Omo.
As this village has been rebuilt, so will many others find homes again.
They follow. Epilogue. The scene slowly changes around Cassandra to the village, bustling and healthy once more.
That was the moment I decided to never put my faith in the gods again. According to them, my brother was destined to become a monster. They didn't care about people. They didn't even care about Ormond the hero. They were just playing a game. That's all our world was to them. And no amount of death or destruction seemed to matter. I never saw Ormond again. I never found out what happened in that far-off city. All I know is that he left. And as the years went by, the stories about the hero of the Red City grew further and further from the truth. They say now that Canis was a big city full of demons who had escaped the underworld and were bent on destroying humanity, and that Ormond was a righteous hero who never killed another human being. I learned quickly I would have to stop listening to these rumors in order to go on without my brother. There was still so much work to be done. I had to do what I could to try and make things right. I traveled to every city that bordered Canis, searching for refugees and inviting them to live in our village. We continued rebuilding with their help, and I learned that the fear of Canis that my parents felt when I was a child was misplaced. It wasn't the commoners who wanted war. Their people were just like the ones who lived here. Some bad, for sure, but also some very, very good ones.
A member of the ensemble joins her and holds her hand for a moment.
I found that out firsthand. And once the refugees were settled, I rebuilt my life with one of them. I always believed that we were the masters of our own fate, that our destiny was our own. The gods may hold some favor in this world, but the choice between good and evil is up to us.
End of play. Folks, thank you for joining us tonight. Unfortunately, we're experiencing some technical difficulties with the actual Zoom call that we're streaming to you. So stay tuned to this YouTube channel. We'll be back in like 5 minutes with a new live stream for our post-show talkback to talk all things design, writing process. This is a show that we wrote as a group together, and so we're really excited to talk about our devising process with you. And we'll see you back in just a couple of minutes. Thanks.